I've talked about this like a few times. I went to prison when I was a juvenile.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Do I have chocolate on my face?
No, you're good. Smile? No, you're good. You're good.
Why is it funny that I went to prison?
No, I just did not see that coming.
Yeah, you were caught off guard.
Yeah, I'm like, when did you? I can't see you in prison.
I've done a lot of things, okay, throughout my
Really?
lifetime, yeah. I have tons of life experience. So I went to prison for a year when I was from 16 to 17.
What did you do?
Well, I'm from Chicago, so it's...
What has that got to do with it? Sharap?
People,
You shooting people?
No, I wasn't shooting
Did you
people,
shoot someone?
but no. So I was like guilty by association. I had a boyfriend, and in Chicago, because the gang violence is so bad, if you are with people who are committing crimes and there's more than 4 people, you're all charged as the same thing.
No way.
Yeah, under some gang act.
So you're technically in a gang.
I was not in a gang. If it's 4 or more people committing a crime in Chicago, you all get charged together.
And what was the crime? What did you do? Or what did he do?
Yeah, so I technically did not benefit off of anything. They were just robbing houses, stealing things, and I was just along for the ride. I got charged. I spent a year in prison as a juvenile. I was supposed to be there up until 21 years old.
Wait, so were you at the house when they were robbing it, like in the car, or were you just chilling at home and you knew about it?
So I never took anything, but
Sounds
because
like denial.
I was small. No, I never made a penny. I never made a penny off of it. I was small.
Those greedy
I was the only
gang
girl,
members.
and so they would put me in the window, and I would unlock the door for them to let them in.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So so you went to prison. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Was it a
so-
juvenile prison or an adult prison?
So in Illinois, there's juvies, which is
Yeah.
like the first. It's more like a holding center, a juvie is. And then there's a second step after that, which is a prison for people from technically 0 years old till 21. So you can go there up until 21 years of age. However, a lot of people are like, oh, like that sucks. You went to prison. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me because it set me, I feel, on a better path in my life. So speaking about what I want to do in the future, I want to go back to facilities like that and talk to young girls to help give guidance, because I feel like that's why I ended up in this situation, was because
Right.
I did not have guidance growing up.
Wow, that's awesome. I guess
Yeah.
it's good to always, like, take a situation like that and be like, okay, no, you know what, like, it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. Like, that's the best mindset to have.
Yeah.
What happened in prison? Did you shank anyone?
No.
You smile, you look guilty.
No. I had a couple girlfriends.
What?
So that was the first time
Wow.
that I was exposed to the town that I grew up in. There were no gay people
Yeah.
or anything like that, or lesbians. And also a huge thing in prison is girls who they're not trans, but they're a little bit more than what would be considered a butch lesbian. Like, they shave their head.
Yeah.
They do call themselves guys. What did we call them? We called them studs in prison, but they never, get out and do a sex change or anything like that. So I wouldn't say that they were trans. But half the women in prison end up converting to a stud. And then there's, obviously the femme lesbians. And so being 16, I was never exposed to that.
Yeah.
So it was my first time being in that type of environment. And I remember I had a boyfriend when I went to prison, and I was like, no, I don't like girls. But slowly, because everyone around you is engaging in lesbian contact and lesbian relationships, it just starts to become the norm. So I ended up getting into a few lesbian relationships.
That's awesome. And
That's awesome.
that's exciting because you're open-minded, I guess.
It makes prison probably a lot more enjoyable than being alone.
Yeah, I would rather come in prison than not come in prison.
Well, that's what I think is interesting, though. It's if everyone else in the community around you is doing a certain thing or acting a certain way, everyone tends to convert to that way, at least while they're in that environment.
Who eats pussy better, women or men?
I never had sex. Like, I kissed girls in there. I would write them, like, little letters. Like, I had girlfriends.
Oh, wholesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going, like, wild, like,
No.
scissor
Sneak
situation.
into
No,
each other's
some-
cells in the middle of the
Some
night.
girls would, but I never went that far.
Damn.
And you never got taken advantage of in prison, so that's good. Because, prison's a rough and rugged place.
I was scared at first because the first day I went in, it was like, oh, it's a new girl. Let's see who can date her first. And I just...
Oh, I want to go to that prison. That sounds fun. Like, oh, I want to see who I can date her first. Not like, oh, I'm going to shank him in the leg and see if he can handle.
Oh, my God.
Like,
we did have some crazy violence, though. Like, we had riots, girls getting hit, like, attacks with the lunch trays, just, like, giant, like, fights.
Did you fight
hundreds
at all?
of people. No, I would, like, pull people off of each other and be sort of that person in the fight, but I never swung hands on anyone. I would never hit another woman. I will hit men, but not women.
Wow.
Were you allowed to have conjugal visits? Is that the word?
No,
Conjugal?
I was a child. I was a child.
Yeah, so like your mom or dad, were they allowed to visit you, your boyfriend at the time?
Isn't that like a sexual visit, a conjugal visit?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
think
I've never
it's-
heard of that word.
That is sexual.
She did say she likes vocabulary, so here he is using big
I learned
words.
something because I saw conjugal visits in movies, which is normally sexual, but I thought that was just any visitor you get. Like, oh, my mom's visiting me for a conjugal visit.
So you can have like conjugal, so they come in and just like under the table.
What? No. Okay, so I don't think it's necessarily always has to be sexual, but it's if you have a husband, you can have a conjugal visit, or if you have children, which is when I think you get to spend a night or a weekend in a conjugal cabin, or we didn't have those because there's a juvenile
Did you
facility.
have non-conjugal visits is what I meant to
Yeah,
ask.
my mom would come and see me.
And
That's nice.
what did your parents think about this stuff when it was going on? I guess they were probably a little bit angry, or
It was really upsetting. Yeah.
I can imagine. Did you tell your mom that you had girlfriends in there?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
They were fully against that stuff.
I wouldn't say she would be against it. It's
Yeah.
just not a conversation that I would want to have with her.